Hey guys, welcome to The Strong Young Man. Excessive greed within yourself is something that you ought to be on the lookout for. It can affect anyone at any time, regardless of how much you own. Greed is excessive desire to possess money or material goods, but only for the sake of having them, and it can affect the rich and the poor in the same way. What differs the greedy from the virtuous is the attitude people have towards material property. The greedy are always in pursuit of more, regardless of how much they have, and the virtuous are always generous with how much or how little they have. Greed is about having more than the next man. It's the comparison that makes you greedy, and that's why it can affect the poor just as much as it can affect the rich. Understand that money itself is not evil. Money can be used to achieve a lot of good. It's the pursuit of money with no morality that's the real evil. It's okay to desire money to take care of yourself and the people you care about, but excessive desire or worship of money for the sake of having it will destroy your relationship with others, and it also destroys your relationship with yourself. The primary way that greed destroys you is that it'll dominate your life. It's unhealthy to have ambitions that result in you spending large chunks of your time chasing after money or material property at the expense of things that bring you spiritual fulfillment. Ask yourself, what is taking up your time? Is every endeavour you undertake dictated by money? The pursuit of wealth in material goods should never take away from your pursuit to a wealthy soul. Material goods may be a result, and this is okay, but it should never be the focus. Believing that you'll be happy when you achieve a certain level of financial wealth is the most destructive form of greed. The rich almost always pay a price for their wealth. A large challenge in people's personal life often immediately follows the acquisition of a large sum of money, especially if it's acquired quickly. Relationship troubles with a spouse, spoilt and unappreciative children, or a breakup of relationships with siblings and friends commonly follow the rich around, especially if they are greedy with their money. Ultimately, this costs the individual happiness. I'm not sure what's more depressing, the number of people who have nothing and believe that their happiness will be found in having everything, or the number of people who have everything and realise that it didn't make them happy. Such is the life of those stuck on the hedonic treadmill. Once you make more money or get a new possession or reach a new goal, it at first makes you happier, but then you adapt to the new circumstances. You've risen to a level, but so have your expectations, so that your happiness falls right back to where it was in the first place. You then seek for another hit of pleasure, only to become similarly desensitized to it. On and on the cycle goes, and you always seem to be running after something, but really you're just running in place, stuck on the hamster wheel of desire. People who can't be happy with what they have in the moment will never be happy when they acquire what they want. If you fail to understand this, then you will spend your entire life seeking the next big thing, foolishly believing that it will make you happy upon acquisition. The mistake is to never learn and repeat the cycle until you have everything but the happiness that you thought would come with having everything. Being happy with what you have is the height of wisdom. It will also mean that you live in the highest state of happiness possible, even if you have only very few earthly possessions. Greed is becoming increasingly prevalent amongst the youth who are raised in a complete state of abundance. They have unlimited access to everything immediately, and their parents don't filter their spoils. This teaches them stockpiling behaviours and corrupts their ability to form meaningful and selfless relationships with other children. Deprivation makes children more appreciative of what they have, and an abundance makes them spoilt brats. These bad habits can take years to unlearn. If you are unfortunate to have parents who spoilt you and who neglected to teach you how to have a proper relationship with material possessions, then you need to root this attitude out of your behavioural patterns. Move in the opposite direction. Generosity, the opposite of greed, will strengthen your relationship to those close to you. Learn to be generous with things. Be generous with your time, your money, your possessions, and be generous with your words. Generosity will also strengthen your relationship with yourself. Giving to others can provide you with a great sense of achievement. It's more than okay to be wealthy. Wealthy individuals are not necessarily greedy. You can pursue excellence and become wealthy and not be greedy at the same time. Warren Buffett and Bill Gates are excellent examples of wealthy individuals who resisted greed. Warren Buffett still lives in the same modest home in Nebraska that he purchased in 1958 for $31,500, and Bill Gates plans to leave his children only 0.03% of his net wealth as inheritance, donating the rest to charity. Their understanding that greed can destroy people allows them to live very frugal and generous lives relative to their accumulated wealth. Like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, adopting a minimalist lifestyle and only buying what you need is a great way to combat your greed. Refer back to episode 91 for more tips on how to start. Great happiness can be found with deprivation. Concentrating your happiness into several more important material possessions at the expense of everything else will provide you with a more fulfilling and appreciative relationship to those few earthly possessions. Lastly, and most importantly, you must never ever sell your soul to the devil. There should be limits to what you do for money, and one of those things should be that you should never deliberately do evil things to other humans in order to accumulate wealth. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul? The book of Mark, chapter 8, verse 36. Thanks for watching today's episode. In episode 94, I'll be talking about wrath. Subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified when it drops. Catch you then.